Let's try and fix that audio issue that we had yesterday. Let's turn that off. Mic off. Can I just mute that? Oh, I can click it. Anyway, hey everybody. It's 24, not even 24 hours later. How many hours is it later? 14 hours later. And I've got a whole new setup going. And I'm wearing a shirt that, is branded. I've got an absolute mess here. And look, there's a microphone there and a new camera here. So what I did the little stream yesterday, about a half an hour, probably only have 15 minutes today, but I thought I might as well get going. But then I realized that I was playing with my kids last night and made a big mess. So we were playing with the Lion's Knight Castle, and it was in the middle of my floor. So I thought I'd put it right where I was working. Anyway, so I thought I'd come back, but I just like 20 minutes ago. I gotta remember to look there. I'll just do that. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hi, Sean, HFX BRX. We're back again, live streaming. It is 12:47. We have 10 minutes to build something. I was working on this last night, and then I watched the footage, and we at least had one viewer. Hello. Welcome. And yeah, this camera was a really old 720p camera, and it was noticeably blurry. All of this should look much better now. This is a camera that I had ordered months ago, and I forgot that it was sitting in a box. But then I also got, so you can see the reflection in there. That's nice. A microphone showed up, but it's actually the wrong model, so I may return it, I may not. Maybe you can hear me. Maybe you can, maybe can't. And then I hung this drape because I'm like, is that better? Maybe I should have like paint it blue and do like blue screen effects and make it lasers. I don't really care. And then I put another light up here so you can see my face better. And I put a different hat on. I put a baseball cap on. And then I was like, my baseball cap was leaning in front of everything. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. So here's some stuff that we're not going to touch. These are going to be a space build that we're going to do maybe in a couple weeks. It's going to be a free building exercise. I don't really have a plan. I kind of want to build a base or maybe another spaceship. But hey, I'm going to try and plow through. Let's open Studio again. Let's see how much I can get done today before the lunch hour is over. I'm going to slide, and I moved my laptop around because everything's running off my laptop, which is cool. HFX BRX Studio, make this full screen over there. I can see myself over there. Hi, everybody. That's my laptop. That's my screen. Anyway, so we're going to start doing the coral. The coral is probably going to be the same fun process as yesterday. Do the outline, fill her in, add some details. But what should I talk about today? So Lego. What's the deal with Lego anyway? Where am I? So this, because I added these changes, it's a bit different. So this should be parallel with that. There. So, Lego. Lego is a building block toy company from Denmark, the town of Billund. It is far away. It's the climate is not tropical. It's actually very similar climate to Nova Scotia. I've had a few designer people that I know that have moved there, and they basically conflate it to, or compare it to, Nova Scotia's weather. Like, it snows a little bit, it's cold for a while, it's gray, and that's all I know. I've never been there, but I'd like to go there. I think everybody kind of that's a fan of the bricks has this vision of like, one day I will make a trip to the motherland and visit the factories and see the things. And a lot of people do. There's a big event called Scarebeck. Scarebeck is a small town near Bieland, and they host a big annual convention. It's basically the super fans. If you're gonna be a fan, like, yeah, we'll go to Toronto, well, that's nothing. You gotta go all the way to Denmark if you're a real fan. So I'd love to do that. It's kind of loose. And why is that loose? I used the black tile places. See, these shouldn't be floppy like that. Are they gonna fall off? No, they should be fine. It's just they're not settling. Anyway, the black plate that this is all sitting on is all used plate from my backlog of mixed bricks. I guess I gotta remember to look up. Maybe I should move the camera there. If I move the camera right in front of my screen, I will be unable to look away from you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Oh, see, now they're coming in contact. Something went wrong there. This is what I get for doing it live, eh? And then I gotta, and I was told about this, and they're like, yeah, you know, if you use tiles, they're harder to get off if you make a mistake. I got some good advice from a Lego professional who does mosaics, and that was like, use plate, because plate you can kind of use the brick separator, I think. And rounds, I think, would be probably easier to get off. I would imagine if you make a mistake like this. I just put this one row off. Anyway, Lego Mecca, Denmark. They make toys. They made toys forever. Technically, the brick itself, you know, clearly they didn't invent the brick. The brick is a form of construction that has existed for thousands of years. They just pursued all the copyrights over the manufacturing of plastic bricks in various places until they managed to own it all, basically, and that's pretty amazing. That's because there were other building block companies that had different latching techniques, different connectivity, different clutch power, as it were. So yes, when this, see, these ones they're clutching weakly, so they're shifting a bit. So that's weak clutch power. Yeah. Anyway, so Lego. I was a Lego fan as a small child. I had a brother. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, I don't know what I'm doing. It'll make sense when it's done, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that's right. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, so I had a brother. He was 7 years older than I was, so he got some really amazing stuff. I actually have a copy of the very first set that he ever received. It wasn't, of course, the one I have is not his. I found it in a local toy store around Halifax and scooped it up and paid too much for it. But, you know, sometimes you feel like doing that. And, yeah. So he was 7 years older than me, so he was at the perfect cusp of getting the yellow castle that everyone fawns over, the classic spaceships with the very first, you know, minifigures, and, you know, I think his first set was a police car. It's sitting on my shelf behind me, but I'll show it off at some other point. Anyway, and so yeah, he got amazing stuff, and me as a dorky little brother basically grew up and took all his cool stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, I took all his cool stuff. Are you sure that's 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I took all his cool stuff. I proceeded to lose most of the things, like his Star Wars action figures. I'm sure that I am responsible for where all the Stormtroopers' blasters have fallen into air ducts in my parents' house. They have been vacuumed up by the central vac. At some point, when I realized what a central vac was, I got it in my head that I could just go down into the basement and open the canister that holds all the things that it collected. And I just assumed that it collected everything and it just stayed there. It didn't actually get emptied ever. I didn't know that that was a thing. And yeah, so I was heading downstairs, and I think my father asked me what I was doing, and I said, hey, I'm going to go open the vacuum because I'm looking for the Star Wars blasters. And he corrected me that if I was to do that, it would cause the worst mess of disgustingness that you could imagine, and he prevented me from going further. Thankfully, because that would have been gross. Anyway, yeah, so Star Wars things and Lego things. That was definitely... I had a sister who was older, but she was more of a learned lady. She might watch this sometime, so I have to speak like she is. Well, she is the smartest sister I have. She was always she was like running a library out of her bedroom, and she had a wonderful array of procedures. You had to sign things out. There were actual library cards inside, and I know that like in modern days you don't use, there's no cards, but like in a school library you often have a piece of paper inside the cover of a book that has a little form that you put your name on, signed out by Sean, and then you take that book and then they take the card, and then that's how they kept records of all the different books that were out on loan to other people. And I don't think I was actually much of a reader. I think I just went through the process because it was a process and things like that. And yeah. So yes, my sister ran a library. My brother, who's 7 years older than me, so that's also weird too, because imagine if you had a sibling, if you were 7 years old, and then you had a baby pop up in your house. That might be a little annoying, because you are established in your routine. You are theoretically a grown-up at that point. You know, 7 years old, you're almost driving and working and all those kind of things. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so I came along and took all his stuff and lost all his weapons and took all his cool things, and he just couldn't get rid of me fast enough. So I think he was content to just let me play with the buckets of Lego that we had. And when I was a child, I didn't have any of the original boxes for anything. All the blue pieces were dumped into a tote. Small tote, and all the red pieces were in a small tote, and all the yellow pieces were all in a small tote, and all the minifigs were kind of I should put some supports under there. Anyway, so everything was kind of organized though. Like the spacemen stayed spacemen. I did not dismantle minifigures. I don't think much. I might have swapped faces around, but I never pulled. I don't understand people that pull hands off of minifigures. Like, why? Like, I understand if you're making a custom minifigure and you want to have a, I don't know what. You want to put black gloves on a character that's riding a motorcycle. Like, I guess that's okay. But I have gone to many and bought many used collections in my life. And, like 90% of the hands are just ripped off and sitting somewhere. Like, it's just kind of like, what is going on? Now, should I have done that, or should I have had that as a curved bit? Because these ones are curved and droopy. But should that one be a curved, droopy one? I'll think about it. Right, should I actually just keep going with the outline and then fill in later? Will I have enough time? It is 1 o'clock. I started my lunch late today, so I could maybe do that. Dog was outside. Anyway, brother, didn't want to have much to do with me. I played with his Lego, but it was all in bins, but the instructions were still around, so I did build the yellow castle 100 times. And I would take it apart. Like, that was my ritual of play. It was like, build, dismantle. It might have been together for a couple of days, it might have been a couple of weeks, but, you know, it really was a take it apart, put it back together. My mother, Shirley, liked to make sure things didn't get lost. You know, it would get dumped back in the same bucket. The pieces with the stickers on it slowly just wore out over time and peeled out. There's still some original bricks that I have that definitely still have the stickers on, castle-wise. I have ordered a new set of stickers, and maybe that's something I can do on a stream, is rebuild the yellow castle. That I will have to mute the microphone because I'm going to have to... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. I'm going to have to dig for the pieces, right? So I keep most of my play brick in... that light reflection right there. Is that annoying? Tell me if it's annoying. I keep all my play brick, you know, my kids. I've got kids. They play with my Lego. They play with some of my Lego. Like, right here is the Lionstein Castle. It is in 2 pieces. We were playing there was an attack. The Black Falcons have attacked. Then there was the Build a minifigure character that came out not too long ago. That was a unicorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There was a unicorn character. Which is now somewhere inside the castle. Or maybe down on the floor. That unicorn came to save the day, and that was pretty good. And yeah, and then there's also the series 24 Night Girl collectible minifigure. That one I ended up collecting. I think I have 20 of them because I was going to start my first army. And maybe that's another thing we can do in this live stream is do some army building. I've never actually been one of those people to passionately do anything with regard to building up forces of things, but I did get a whole bunch of the knight collectible figure, and so I could get the armor, and I was going to replace all the weaponry with gold weaponry, so I ended up buying like, I don't know, 50 gold spears and 50 gold crossbows and 50 gold axes and 50 gold or 20 or something, whatever the number is. And yeah, anyway, so I've always been a fan of the classic yellow castle. Then the Night Girl was, I think, the epitome of that, where she came out and she was wearing the right armor, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so that was my childhood. So my childhood was the yellow castle and the 928. How many pieces have I dropped? Today, just one. Yesterday, it was a few. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And right. Building. You know, will this be fun if I can turn this clip into a, what do they call them? A short, a YouTube short. Anyway, and you can cut out all the audio so you don't have to hear me talk while I'm building. Wouldn't that be cool? So, classic Yellow Castle, the classic space, definitely the, I had all three, the 924, the 928, the 918. Spaceships, I had a couple of the bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And a couple of the bases and a couple of the other night sets. There's actually 1 or 2 pictures of me online holding like Christmas morning, and I'm like, that seems too young to be walking around with that set. Like I would have been 3 in one of these pictures. It's on my Instagram. That, yeah, I'm holding a set that's now valued at $1 bazillion, and of course it's being played with. That's my thing with Lego, is I use it, I don't preserve it. I'm not a collector. There's a lot of collectors in my circle. I don't get it. You know, it's a toy. I understand that I'm passing up on a lot of value, but you know, I think it gives me a lot of joy, and I don't want to store things. Like I have a Lego Bricklink store, and that's where the HFX Bricks thing kind of came from, evolved from. But yeah, I don't. My store is not aimed at collectors. My store is aimed at builders. Like if you need 600 coral tiles, I might have them in my inventory. I don't currently because I took them all out of my inventory to do stuff like this. I am actually just currently buying parts for a brand new set that no one's ever seen. Actually, 2 people have seen so far. And I just ordered all the parts for 100 of them, because that's kind of my first test run. Is why buy 1 when you can buy 100? And so I just went through. It's a Lego VIP day still until like 1 o'clock this morning in Nova Scotia time. And look at this. That light is kind of weird. Maybe I should. Can I block that light? It's just right in the view of this nice new camera. That I just, you know, remember that it exists. But anyway, it's shining. Just trying to figure out. This is that, and then this is this, and then anyway. So yes, my store is not for collectors. My store is for builders, mock makers specifically. Like if I'm looking to build a replica of the Basilica, or Zachary Steinman, he's a chum. He likes to build cubes, and then he will get this idea and be like, I need 300 tiles tomorrow, and happily he works kind of close, so I can pop by and say, here's your tiles. And then like the next day or later that night, there will be a post on Instagram of like, I built this thing, and it'll be an amazing thing, and it'll just be like, thank goodness that I could get him the bricks. Anyway, that's what I like. So anyway, collecting. So yes, I liked. So this was the early '80s. I was super fan from then on, and then of course everyone goes through a dark age period. Which was probably from when I was 10 until I was 25. It's a big chunk of time in there. It was always kind of around, like the Lego Star Wars. I was a huge Star Wars fan, so I was getting Star Wars sets, but it wasn't like I wouldn't go out of my way to buy all of them. I would get 1 or 2 for Christmas, and they would get built, and then I'd just put them on my shelf, and then but I wasn't getting tons. And I didn't do Ninjago, and I didn't even know that, I got a bunch of castle stuff that came in a bulk buy, and I saw that fitted armor piece that they put on. I was like, that can't be Lego, that doesn't make sense. So I'm sure I threw away thinking it was all, you know, off-brand brick armor that yeah, I just tossed it. Thinking, this isn't real Lego, but it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yeah. So there's a big period of time, and then my wife started getting me when we were dating, and then she just started buying it for me for Christmas or for my birthday. I'd get a set, and they were nice sets. Like I got, you know, like $200-$300 sets, or the idea sets. Like I have the Tron bikes, just there, the original Ghostbuster idea set. Anyway, it's kind of hard to, but yeah. So from playing with it constantly as a child, I just was a creative builder. I built the sets, but I'd also build original things. Like I built, and I really, because my mother sorted my bricks, or my brother's bricks at some point, she sorted them by color, and from then on, I've always been a color sorting kind of guy. It breaks everyone's brain when they come visit and they're like, hey, let's build something. I gotta find something. And I'll be like, okay, here's the bins. And there's about 20 giant bins in the other room that's like all red. And actually, the white bin is now moving into, like, it's huge. It's one of those extra large Rubbermaid totes. It's just white brick. And then there's another one that's just black brick. And a lot of it isn't even useful brick. It's not like 2x4s. I think everyone thinks that's like the reality, but most of the brick is like tiny little, you know, Technic pin connectors. And you're like, why do I have 6,000 Technic pin connectors? But I do. So I'm always trying to find something for weird stuff, but then I end up with a stupid idea like this, going, I need coral. I need coral. Do I have a bin of coral? No. At least the black. The black is all used. Thankfully, I actually took advantage of my collection for once. The lobster that I built last year, I used as much as I could from my collection, but then when you're trying to build like something that's dark red, which I actually want to build it green or black. But I was building a dark red, and, you know, I only had a teeny box of dark red stuff. But my Bricklink store, of course, I had purchased and parted out half a dozen Tony Stark Iron Man armor kits at some point. So I was like, oh, look at all these really nice shapes. Look at all these things that I can use for my lobster. And it worked out. Then, there, of course, there was the lobster trap. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I dug through, like, it's mostly dark tan. Or brick yellow, as you want to call it. Is this going to fit? No, that's not how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah. This could be like this. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. There we go. That's more like it. Technically, I actually had the drippage there, but we'll see if that stays or not. I'd like to have some sort of border there. I'll just take that off for now. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Got some sets when I was a middle-aged person, and slowly it began to infiltrate my life again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how the cookie crumbles. And then you go down this deep, dark spiral of... and I rebuilt a couple of sets. And then I had kids, and I was just buying whatever sets. And then... So I was always around, but then you definitely... It was like an illness at COVID. And this is the story that everyone has. It's like, well... Mine's a little bit different. A lot of people just got like too much money and they were like, I should buy some Lego. This will pass the time. It's like a puzzle, right? So like making puzzles is soothing for people. Listening to music is soothing for people. Building models, like Maisto, whatever, model replica airplanes. Relaxing, soothing. So Lego definitely fit that bill for a lot of people. But my relaxation was mostly to do with my children, because over COVID I had a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old effectively in my lap full time, and so I needed things for them to do. So in my craze, I ended up buying every bulk lot of Lego that I could get my hands on. And then I would like leave it on the porch for 2 weeks, and then the germs would die, and then I would bring it inside with like a respirator on and hose it down and clean it and stick it in the dishwasher and do all this processing and craziness. And then I would be like, okay, kids, let's sort. And then that became like, month 3 of COVID. And then it became let's play. It was just play, endless play. Let's build towers. Let's do Lego stop motion. Let's do anything that we could to kind of have a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just some sort of activity, right? That was like school was kind of a joke. They were going to do homeschooling, and it's going to be great, and there's going to be a curriculum. And I'm like, my kid's in, grade 1, grade 2 at the time, like, and daycare. Like, what kind of curriculum are you going to have? And not to disparage the teachers, but they were doing better than I was. But Lego was more fun. Let's put it that way. So we did a lot of Lego stuff. And then you slowly come out of COVID and you're like, oh, I got all this Lego. What am I going to do with it? So it was sorted and cleaned, and then I was like, you know what, I should do some workshops. I should do some things. And at this time, this is totally the story. And look at that, we're making good progress. I gotta get to work soon. I got 5 minutes. There was a news article for a local designer who had done an amazing build and was going down to the United States to deliver it, like during COVID times. COVID had not ended yet, I guess. And but anyway, in this article, it was like, hey, so-and-so used to do, they started out by doing school workshops and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, cool. I should investigate. I should see what kind of curriculum they had, what kind of lesson plans they would do. That looks pretty great. Oh my gosh. We're not going to light it up today, and I don't even know. I got time to finish this. It'll only take a couple minutes. This is the easy part. Anyway, I reached out to this guy and said, "Hey, what's up? What's the curriculum? Let's do Lego. Oh, you should do this thing. Have you heard of this Lego club?" And on Facebook, there's this thing called the Halifax Master Builders Lego Club thing, and a friend of mine was in it, and he invited me to it because he knew I like Lego, and so he was like, "Oh, I'm not part of that, but have you heard of Marilug?" And Marilug is the Maritime Lego User Group. And I was like, "No, can I join that?" And it was like, "Yes, figure it out." And I was like, "Okay, good." So then we joined, and then I was like, "Okay, lugs. I've heard of these things. These are supposed to be those amazing epicenters of creativity and amazingness and awesome." And it was also, like the rest of the world, coming out of a COVID time. The group had kind of rearranged itself, broken up, did a bunch of things. The old guard had, realized that there were other things, the priorities further away. They'd moved all these things. The younger members had, you know, had families and all sorts of stuff, and life changes, right? So then I come in and go, where's all the action? Where's all the fun? Where's all the crazy? And then it basically was quiet. And so I was being me, going, hey, when's the next build challenge? When's the next this? And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to challenge you. So then I challenged everyone to a build challenge. And a couple people entered, and I was like, golly. And this is all true. And it doesn't make me... basically what I was saying, I was disheartened by the reality of the lug. So I decided to change it. And I just started organizing public events. I have a history of being an artist. I've done a bunch of public art events. I've done, not really theater, but like performance art. And I'm like, it's really easy. Just, you know, build something and put it somewhere. It doesn't have to be like a biggest exhibition in the world. You don't have to be invited to go to, you know, Disneyland to say, oh, we're going to put my Lego somewhere. You can just, like, call a restaurant and ask them if they want Lego in their restaurant for a week. And I bet they'll say yes. And then we did. We did exactly, well, pretty much that. I called a bunch of, like, local businesses that I like, the record store, Taz, and Strange Adventures, and all these wonderful places. And they said, hey, can we put up some Lego? And they were like, yeah, that sounds weird. And that was that. That was, like, almost 2 years ago, and that stirred up things. And we, locally, we've been doing a lot of events. And at the same time, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do these school workshops. And then I went to the library, and then there were library workshops, and then there was some other things. And I was like, you know what, there's things I can do with the lug, but there's also things I need to do for myself. So then, HFX Bricks, which was under a different name for a while, and then started doing stuff. Independent of the lug, so it was stuff that didn't really make sense for the lug to be doing, like school workshops and all that stuff. And that just kind of grew and grew and grew. And then with the lug, I was like, hey, I should do a thing. I should do a big thing. How big of a thing could we do? Why is there no Lego convention? And so last summer, I decided to have a Lego convention. Basically, it was a giant expo. And this year is going to be more of a convention atmosphere. More, you know, there's going to be some Dirty Brickster, or Yankee Swap, as I keep forgetting the name of that. It's basically, everyone shows up with a $20 Lego themed gift, and you put it in the middle, and you open it, and you can steal it from somebody else, or you can pick something your own, and blah, 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 blah. Oh no. Did we run out of bricks? No, we didn't. There's always more bricks. But look at this. And so that's HFX Bricks, and that's how the Lego story was formed. How long is this? 45 minutes? 38 minutes. I gotta get to work. Look at this. 2 more dots. I can tell the Lego story. See, these ones are nice. They're like rounded, drippy drips, and not... Do I have those in that color? I know somewhere I've got the corners. So I'll use those. But anyway, check that out. Can I turn that light off? There. HFX Bricks. Sorry, there's a castle in the way. So that's what we got today. Bam! That looks pretty good. What do you think? So, stream number 2, or stream number 3. I don't have an archive of the other stuff. I used to use a different YouTube channel, which I thought about merging, and then I was like, man, that's stupid. Then there's Twitch, and they just don't save the streams. So that's why I'm on YouTube. Just, it seems to be automatic, and everything seems to be great. But anyway, there, HFX Bricks. But there's so many wires, and so many lights, and so many cameras, that it's kind of amazing. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm going to find the corner bits so I can round it off like I did the bottom. Though I kind of like that kind of digitally, but I kind of like this better. It looks a little more like spray painty. This looks more like bad computer art. Both have their benefits. Anyway, that's how big it is. This is just a base plate, 48 by 48. This is one of the ones that was on the Bricksplosion sign that I made. And yeah. There you go. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's the middle of your day, but you're probably watching it some other time. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Maybe it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Like and subscribe. If I get